I keep going?
Yeah, you can go. You're just practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep going if you want.
Package. Sunland.
Less than a minute.
Okay. Okie dokie.
It seems like this has been a very active year for fires for us.
Hats and gloves that we can give away to people who are in need of them.
If I win, it's up to $20,000.
It looks like snow for the weekend and a big cool down. I'll have your details coming up.
You're watching WOW 6 News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Amina Smith. Ice and snow could affect your travel this weekend. Let's throw it over to Zach Henderson for a look at the forecast.
First Weather is brought to you by Allied Auto Body CarStar.
Thanks, Amina. And already we are dropping below freezing, although I haven't seen anything nearby. It's 31 outside. Right now we have a slight wind out of the south. The stuff that's trying to make its way towards us is staying to the south and to the east. Now that's going to change a little bit. And if we look at the radar, we can even see in this screen a few areas of pink, and that's the freezing rain in the mix making its way towards us. Zooming in a little bit, you can see a few areas of light rain trying to make its way towards us. Now not really falling to the ground quite yet, not making it all the way down. We will see that change as we go on overnight. Now winter weather advisory has been issued. That's because snow is on the way and we have a big cool down in store coming in this weekend also. I'll talk more about that coming up. For now, back to you, Mina.
Thanks, Zach. Lawrence ends 2014 with an increase in homicides. 4 murders were reported last year. That's an increase of 1 murder compared to 2013. Only one of those cases is not cleared by an arrest. In 2 years, Lawrence had 7 murder cases. Topeka reports 6 homicides in the past year, a 10% decrease from last year. And Kansas City saw its lowest numbers since 1967 with 77 homicides. The numbers are in, and the American Red Cross has listed house fires as a top disaster threat here in the state of Kansas. Here's how those fires have taken a toll on families here in Lawrence. While tornadoes and hurricanes tend to dominate headlines, house fires in the state of Kansas has become a silent but prominent threat. Even here in Lawrence, officials say they have seen a significant increase just in the last year.
It seems like this has been a very active year for fires for us. Some of that can be attributed to dry weather and dry conditions off and on during the year, but my perception has been this has been a busy year for us fire-wise.
The local Douglas County chapter of the American Red Cross provided dozens of families with assistance in 2014 who were displaced due to house fires.
Families and individuals are devastated. What we try to address are what their emergency short-term needs are going to be. We also provide financial assistance for clothing replacement, assistance also for meals, groceries.
The Kansas Red Cross has helped more families affected by fires this year than any other disaster combined. Just this month in Lawrence, 10 homes and businesses have been claimed by fires.
The most common causes of fire, kitchen fires are the most common cause of residential fires.
The overwhelming majority of the fires that we respond to, some type of a heating source such as a space heater, and then improperly extinguished smoking materials.
All across the country, American Red Cross chapters and fire departments are working together to help reduce the number of house fires.
So the first line of defense that you can have in home fire safety is smoke detection. Beyond that, it's keeping an extinguisher in the house somewhere. And exit drills in the home are very, very important.
In 2014, Kansas Red Cross volunteers responded to over 2,000 victims, providing necessities such as food, shelter, and clothing for those in need. Due to the high numbers of house fires across the country, the Red Cross has launched a national campaign to help reduce fire-related deaths and injuries by 25% over the next 5 years. Fire crews fight a fire in downtown Topeka this morning. Fire Marshal Michael Martin says at least 4 businesses are damaged from the fire, which began at about 2 a.m. When firefighters arrived, they saw smoke and heavy fire coming from the roof of HHB Barbecue. Other businesses damaged were Clayton Financial Services, Jersey Mike's Subs, and Kansas and Classic Bean. The damaged businesses were offered temporary storage space and other support. No injuries are reported. Topeka police are sponsoring a benefit, a Kansas corporal killed in the line of duty. A Zumbathon will be held at Washburn University to raise money for Corporal Harwood's family. Harwood was killed in the line of duty in September when he was shot during a traffic stop. The money raised will pay for Harwood's family to travel to Washington, D.C. for a workshop to support families who have experienced similar tragedies. And new tonight at 10, officials continue to search hundreds of square nautical miles in an effort to find more bodies and debris from Air Asia Flight 8501. So far, 30 bodies have been recovered. 4 have been identified, including 22-year-old crew member Sunlin Safardi has more.
Another casket arrives, a hug, a pause for prayer. In Surabaya, this is the heartbreaking pattern the families of those on Flight 8501 face as each body is found in the Java Sea. Among the victims, a 22-year-old flight attendant, Karonisa Haider Fauzi, known as Nisa. Her family says she had an adventurous spirit which drove her dream of becoming a flight attendant.
She knew the risk, but she loved this. It was her dream. She loved traveling.
But as some families say goodbye, others are locked in an agonizing wait. Most of the 162 on board still remain missing.
Some of us got sick. Even one of my brothers is hospitalized yesterday. So we're just kinda in the stage that, we just hope everything is gonna end soon.
At sea, the search continues with crews battling tough weather conditions with waves as high as 13 feet. Search teams are now focused on a 2,000 square mile zone, an area roughly the size of Long Island. The most recent find, something that resembles a window pane, according to Singapore's defense minister. But time is ticking to find the aircraft's cockpit voice and flight data recorders, the so-called black boxes. The Pinger batteries, which send acoustic signals for detection, have just over 3 weeks of battery life left. With batteries drained, they'll go silent. I'm Sunlin Sarfati reporting.
One factor complicating the search is the amount of trash floating in the Java Sea. A new report shows an improved economy over the next 3 to 6 months for Kansas and 8 other Midwestern and Plain states. The overall Mid-America Business Conditions Index jumped 3.1 points from November to December. The index score is 54.4. Any score above 50 suggests economic growth. New tonight at 10, if you're trying to be more spending savvy in 2015, experts suggest looking at some items you wish you hadn't bought last year. They say we can learn from our buyer's remorse, and according to AARP, the top items we wish we hadn't purchased are handbags, used books, home party products, and season tickets. Also on the list, organizational tools, kids' toys, and specialized kitchen items. Cold weather is on its way and local organizations need your help keeping the community warm. How you can lend a helping hand by lending your old clothes. When 6 News returns at 10.
Plus, Kansas State had its hands full tonight against UCLA in the Alamo Bowl. I am Andrew Baker, and all of those highlights from San Antonio coming up later in sports.
Local news, weather, and sports from your community. You're watching WOW 6 News. 6 News is brought to you by Natural Breeze Professional Remodelers. The Market Update is brought to you by Pods Discount Carpet.
As the cold weather really sets in for us here in Lawrence and Douglas County, the Lawrence Public Library hopes you'll help their efforts to keep others warm this time of year. In partnership with United Way of Douglas County, the Lawrence Public Library is hosting a glove and hat drive. If you have an extra pair of gloves or a beanie or two just lying around, you can drop them off at the front desk at the library and help keep people in the community warm.
From January 2nd through the 19th, we are asking families or individuals in Lawrence to bring in hats and gloves that we can give away to people who are in need of them this winter so they're not freezing in cold weather like we're having today.
Miriam says the glove and hat drive leads up to the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service at the library, when they hope people will spend the day helping to pass out items collected. For more information about the drive, head to 6lawrence.com and click on links. Upcoming colder temperatures could increase risk of frostbite. To avoid it, don't go outdoors during severe cold, especially if the wind chill is in negative 50 degrees. If you must go outside, protect the exposed parts of your body. Keep your skin dry, stay out of the wind, drink plenty of fluids because hydration increases the blood's volume and prevents frostbite. And wear mittens instead of gloves to warm your hands. Well, I didn't know you should wear mittens instead of gloves. That's a pretty interesting fact.
Well, I think anything you can get around your hands to keep the wind from blowing on it is going to be helpful, especially looking into this Sunday this weekend, because it's going to be cold and it's going to be windy. And so you're going to want your hat and your gloves for this weekend. I'll talk more about that coming up. Right now, of course, we haven't had anything so far in the new year as far as rain or snow, but that's going to be changing. All the details coming up.
Have a news tip? Call 6 News at 832 News. Weather, brought to you by McDonald's of Lawrence.
Welcome back. So this weekend we have a storm that's going to be working its way through, bringing with it some snow and even a little bit of freezing rain. But first we have to get through the rain and the freezing rain part. Then we'll get to the snow, and then unfortunately we are going to have a very, very cold Sunday in store. In fact, there already is a winter weather advisory that's been issued by the National Weather Service for this weekend. Now that only goes right now until 8 o'clock tomorrow. That's mainly because of the freezing rain conditions. After that, the snow, and then maybe they'll reissue that just because of the wind and the big cool down coming in for Sunday. So maybe we'll look like that downtown. Only going to be getting 1 to 2 inches, unfortunately. So that might be a little too much snow, but we'll be expecting to see the changeover from sleet and a wintry mix, maybe even a lull in the morning between 7 a.m. and noon. And then things are going to pick back up, and by 4 p.m. I think we're going to probably see the changeover sometime in the afternoon into the snow. And then after that, by the time we're at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, it's going to be pretty cold. Now the snow should have stopped by then, but 9 degrees, single digits. As soon as we get into single digits, that's when we have to be careful, because on the roads, the salt no longer is going to keep the roads clear. So we're going to be seeing some icy conditions to start out, gusts around 30 miles an hour, So very cold, 15 below maybe with our wind chills. So right now we're right around freezing here in Lawrence, just dropped below at 31, and we'll be looking at these storms staying to the south for the most part, but as we go into tomorrow morning, a few light showers of wintry mix, freezing, rain, sleet, that kind of stuff. Right, since we're staying right around freezing, that's what we can expect to see. What we really want to pay attention to right now is up in North Dakota, and that's going to be making its way down. A cold front with this low pressure system. We'll be watching as this picks up some speed and actually pulls up to the north and to the east. And as we take a look, that's where we're actually seeing our rainfall from, and maybe a little bit of our snow. But as this colder air is going to be coming down tonight and into tomorrow morning, that's what's going to spark off our snow showers, especially as we get into tomorrow and early afternoon. We'll be seeing, here's the line right here between snow and then the rain. That's 1 to 3 inches. And so as that moves through, that's when we're going to be seeing the snow. So probably 2 inches, I think, is a pretty good estimate for the area. And right here from Wichita to Topeka, that's when we're going to be seeing the heaviest stuff. Now, taking a peek at this weekend, on Sunday, of course, the big cool down in store. The sun comes back out on Monday, but if you take a look, Amina, we're having our low temperatures in the single digits for most of the week, so that means maybe a little bit of melting during the day, but it's going to be refreezing at night. So icy roads, so just be careful this week going outside when you're driving.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Me neither. It's gonna
Not at all.
It's going to be pretty darn cold.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Zach. If you're looking to add some vitamins to your diet, the winter months offer produce options full of healthy nutrients. Why you should reach for the white fruits coming up next.
Select Warn Radar is brought to you by Niehoff Dunko.
It's almost the weekend.
New tonight at 10, health experts recommend adults eat about 2 cups of fruits and 3 cups of vegetables a day. Often we reach for ones rich in color, but Holly Furfur tells us winter offers options that aren't as flashy, but still as good for our health.
We often hear the more colorful your produce, the healthier. But winter whites, fruits and vegetables that are pale in color, are packed with healthy nutrients as well. Veggies such as white potatoes, cauliflower, turnips, onions, garlic, and even parsnips, which look a lot like a white carrot.
They offer vitamins and nutrients, but they also have some compounds in them that help to fight cancer, fight heart disease, as well as keep your blood pressure in check, as well as cholesterol levels.
And though potatoes often get a bad rap, it's what we put on them, not the vegetable itself, that's an issue.
White potatoes are virtually fat-free. They're also a good source of vitamin C and a great source of potassium, which helps to lower blood pressure levels.
Moore says garlic contains a compound that has been shown to reduce the risk for prostate and stomach cancer, and onions have nutrients that help with digestion. And when it comes to winter white fruits, top of the list are the pale flesh fruits, such as apples and pears.
There's some studies to show that eating an apple or a pear per day can help to lower the risk of stroke.
We can get most produce year-round, but when we buy what's in season, it's usually cheaper and tastes better. I'm Holly Furfur.
So from fruit to basketball, the Free State, they're going to play their first game of 2015.
Yeah, they played tonight, and it was a pretty good test for Free State, maybe in the first quarter. After that was pretty smooth sailing. Good to get that confidence back at the turn of the calendar year. Tonight was the perfect way to open up the new year if you're a member of the Free State boys basketball team. Coming up, how the Firebirds took apart KC East Academy tonight. Plus, we head to San Antonio, where after trailing 31-6 at halftime, Kansas State roars back in the second half. Could the Wildcats overtake UCLA in the Alamo Bowl? Highlights after this.
Sports is brought to you by Laird Noller Automotive.
Well, welcome back to sports, everyone. The Kansas men's basketball team with one last tune-up before a Big 12 play begins next week in Waco. This Sunday, Bill Self and company back inside Allen Fieldhouse against UNLV. The Jayhawks still looking for their true identity after falling by 25 points or more already twice this season. Now the Rebels will enter at 9-4 and coming off a tough 76-71 loss at Wyoming on New Year's Eve. Now, according to head coach Bill Self, the Rebels will be a strong test for his club before opening up conference play next week.
Yeah, you know, last time we played a Mountain West team, right before league play started, we got beat. So San Diego State last year, and UNLV's ridiculously long. And they got one guy that, you know, he's not as tall as Kent State's reserve that got in there late, but he's a, how about that dude? I mean, geez, he was great. But certainly, you know, that Christian Wood, I mean, he's 7 foot and can play the 3 or the 4. He's ridiculously long. And so we'll have to come up with some things, not only to stop their whole team, but definitely put an emphasis on him.
Jayhawks and Rebels Sunday from Allen Fieldhouse. Game time is slated for 3:30. Meanwhile, former Jayhawk Andrew Wiggins certainly elected to kick off 2015 on a high note. Last night against Sacramento, the rookie dropped a game-high 27 points along with 9 rebounds. Wiggins was 11 of 22 from the field with 4 steals and a pair of assists. The Canadian has now scored over 20 points in 4 of his last 5 games. At this point, Wiggins is the front-runner to win the NBA Rookie of the Year award. The Timberwolves, however, are 5-26 on the season. Well, meanwhile, in 24 hours, head coach Bonnie Hendrickson and the Kansas women's basketball team will clash against one of the best in college basketball. On Saturday, the Jayhawks go toe-to-toe with third-ranked Texas. KU still looking for its first road win this season, while the Longhorns are a perfect 11-0. In addition, this year, UT has taken out 6th-ranked Stanford and 4th-ranked Texas A&M.
Well, their freshman class is really good. But those upperclassmen, they were part of Miguel's group, you know, Gessenkor's group, what Karen and her staff have done. They've played with discipline. They've grown up and they've matured. And, you know, they're unselfish. That has changed for them. It's not, you know, one of my many little things I say. It's not about the bad. It's not about the great plays you make. It's the bad plays you don't make. And they don't make as many bad plays when you watch them from last year.
I know they have great inside presence and they have guards that can drive and distribute the ball really well. So I feel like when we go down there, we just got to buckle down on defense and don't turn the ball over as much on offense.
The Jayhawks on the road tomorrow night in Austin. Bunny's Bunch coming off a 22-point win earlier this week against Sanford. Tip time tomorrow night scheduled for 7. Well, meanwhile, some head-scratching news coming out today regarding the KU football team. Jayhawks junior wide receiver Nigel King has declared for the NFL draft. Last season, King recorded 525 yards receiving and only 1 touchdown. King, a 6'3", 210-pound wideout, he emerged as KU's best deep threat last season. However, this will be a major loss to the Kansas offense for new head coach David Beatty next year. Well, let's shift to the prep level, where tonight the Free State boys basketball team was back on the court. Firebirds opening 2015 against Casey East Academy. Pick it up first quarter. That's Justin Narkemy hitting the open 3. Firebirds with an early 6-point lead. A little bit later, Weston Heck connects from downtown. All Firebirds out of the gate. It's 9-2. Then a minute later, Zion Bolin there with the nice steal. Finds his teammate, Hunter Gutty, and he knows what to do with it. That 3 is pure. 14-12. East calls timeout. End of the first quarter, Firebirds on the move. Give it up ahead to the linebacker, Jay Deneen. Lays it in off the glass. 16-2 at that point. No problem tonight. Firebirds on cruise control, 65-21. Free State now 3-1 on the season. Next up, a home date against Shawnee Mission East next Tuesday. Well, meanwhile, in San Antonio, in the Alamo Bowl, Kansas State trying to finish in the top 10 for the first time since 2002. They win over UCLA. The Bruins would put their foot on the gas early and often. At the half, UCLA would lead 31-6. In the second half, however, KSU roars back, cutting the deficit to 5 with a minute and a half left in the fourth. However, the Cats unable to recover the onside kick, and the Bruins hold on to win this one 40-35. One stat of note, UCLA had 331 rushing yards in the game. Kansas State, 31. Hard to believe on that. Finally, a quick programming note. Coming up next Wednesday night at 7:30, the first varsity showcase of 2015. The show will again be live here on WOW 6. Still in the process of finalizing guests, but I can confirm that Eudora's Mitchell Ballack will be on the show. Ballack has been offered a scholarship by Bill Self and the University of Kansas. Also rated number 21 by ESPN for the class of 2017. Yeah, he's pretty good. He'll be here on the show coming up this Wednesday at 7:30. Switching nights this week due to high school basketball on Tuesdays, making the switch to Wednesday. It'll be perfect. 7:30, varsity showcase, and then KU plays at 8.
Wow, you sound like you have a busy week coming up.
It will be, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Well, thanks, Andrew. A local chef's pies will soon meet national taste buds. The restaurant owner will soon appear on the Food Network. Coming up next. A local chef is getting some big attention. Besides being beloved in Lawrence as the owner of Lady Bird Diner and a master pie smith, Megan Hereford will soon be on the Food Network competing for the chance to win up to $20,000.
Food Network contacted me a couple weeks ago and asked me to come on a game show hosted by Guy Fieri. So that is going to happen sometime in the next couple of months.
Hereford doesn't know the exact time she'll head off to the competition, but says she'll be sure to let everyone know, so hopefully we can all cheer her on. And she says winning $20,000 would be huge for her and the Lady Bird Diner that is in need of a few kitchen upgrades. Well, I think we could all use $20,000 if we could win it.
Right now. Yeah,
I hope I wouldn't spend it all on pies though at Lady Bird. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend it on pies. What would you spend the money on?
20 grand?
Yeah.
No. I'd be out of here.
You wouldn't spend 20 grand on pies?
Nope.
Maybe some warm coats and hats and stuff for this
Absolutely.
Sunday because it is going to get cold.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Have a great night.